Rangers in the West by 4.5 games, but Texas is not going away. It might go right down to the wire, and it's a big weekend series. Happy to have you with us, everybody. Rory Marcus along with Mark Gubazat. Tonight, the second-place Rangers are here, so no peeking at the scoreboard as they'll meet head-to-head. And this promises to be an exciting series. So far this year, it's been something the Rangers have dominated.
Well, Mike Scioscia could downplay this all he wants. Some of the players the same thing, saying it's just another series at this time of the season. But for me, it's a huge series because the Rangers have had a ton of success against the Angels so far this year. They've won 7 of 9. They've hit better than them. They score more runs. And obviously the big difference is the ERA. We're so used to that being completely opposite. Texas, a club that generally gives up a lot of runs, they'll score it, but their pitching staff has been very good, so it's going to be a challenge in this 3-game series.
Traditionally, Vladimir Guerrero has had tremendous days against the Texas Rangers. Now, this situation's a little bit different with Vlad just working his way back into the lineup.
Well, he is, and yesterday he had a real good swing, Rory, and I think that's the important thing. He squared up a baseball for the first time since coming back from the DL. And that ball not only was loud, but it was far. Went way out there at the U.S. Sailor Field in Chicago. Now, you take that at bat, and all of a sudden you look at the numbers he's had against Texas, you feel pretty good. He had a good batting practice session, and he has that Superman T-shirt. He certainly wore that enough times against Texas. The batting average at nearly 400, 22 home runs, 64 ribeye steaks. So the man, if he's back to where he used to be, Vlad, as far as driving the ball, he can carry this whole series against Texas with the opportunity for the Angels to distance himself from them.
It will be an exciting 3 games to watch over the weekend. And the assignment tonight falls to Joe Saunders to try to slow the Rangers down a little bit tonight. It's the Angels and the second-place Rangers coming up next. at Carl's Jr. The Angels and the Texas Rangers, and they're coming into Angel Stadium, or they're already here. I'm so glad that little cutie pie is here tonight.
Ready to go, ready to root for the Angels.
That's right. And break out the pink week, right? just a variation on the theme.
It's a form of bread.
That's right. Here's the Rangers lineup: Vizquel, Young, and Marlon Byrd. Andrew Jones bats cleanup for the Rangers. Josh Hamilton hitting fifth. Then Blaylock, Murphy, Teagarden, and Andrus. So that is a powerful lineup, as usual, for the Texas Rangers to face Joe Saunders.
Big thing, even talking to Joe just the other day, the important thing for Joe Saunders is use that sink fastball, back it up with the changeup, elevate the fastball when it needs to be. He has a good curveball and a slider. Build off the fact that he got 12 ground ball outs his last time out. The overall results, not exactly where he wants, but he realizes to be successful, pitch to contact, and get ground balls.
Outfield behind Saunders: Juan Rivera, Gary Matthews, and Bobby Abreu. On the infield, it's Piggins, Ibar, is Turris, and Morales. With Mike Napoli catching Joe Saunders.
And for Joe to be successful, we talk about pitching to contact, get ground balls. Get the ground balls. A Meister Store has been so solid there at second base. Only one error has turned a lot of double plays. Makes the routine play, but also can make the spectacular play to make that pitcher more aggressive by getting those outs.
Omar Vizquel bats leadoff for the Rangers, with Ian Kinsler on the disabled list, not able to play second base. So the Rangers come in with a 42-year-old leadoff man, but he's a great player.
Well, talking about great fielders and a guy on his way to the Hall of Fame. It's a little guy that puts the ball in play, situational hits for the Rangers. So in this spot right now, trying to work the count if he can against Joe Saunders.
First pitch of the ball game, and Vizquel takes strike one. Bill Hahn, the home plate umpire tonight. 73 degrees at game time tonight. Boy, we look at some of the players and how young they are. Omar Vizquel is old enough to have a 14-year-old daughter, which he does. He bounces one foul on the first base side, but Omar's had a great career. Actually, it's a son who is 14. His daughter is quite a bit younger than that, almost a baby, just a couple of years old.
Just great numbers, both defensively and offensive for Omar Vizquel.
Omar was with the Giants the last several years. Prior to that, the Indians and the Mariners. He's really had a great career. 21st season in the big leagues. And there's a liner that gets into center field. The old guy has something left, doesn't he?
Pretty good pitch, too, by Saunders. But Omar just reached out and put that ball in play.
He's been a tremendous mentor to Andrus, their shortstop.
And that's not a bad. That's a sinking fastball at the very end of the bat. Barely got it by Meister to get it in the outfield for a base hit. Joe Saunders has to face a tough one here now, and Michael Young, who continues to put up tremendous offensive numbers at .325 batting average. 18 home runs, too.
Well, you look at some of the numbers Bobby Abreu has put up over the years and realize how consistent he's been. Michael Young is the same type. And once again, here we are in August, and he's hitting .325. Two and 0 to Michael Young. Joe behind on the count, 3-0.
Right away, Mike Napoli's going to come out to talk to Joe, and you got to forget that first base hit. It wasn't a bad pitch that Vizquel hit into the outfield, but now you're falling behind 3-0. Get that strike in there, try to get a ground ball after you establish the strike. Michael Young probably be taken here. You got Marlon Byrd, who's had a tremendous amount of success against the Angels in his career. A tough hitter. So Joe wants to throw that strike and then work back and try to get a ground ball.
Do you see it as a point of emphasis, even if not said so publicly by the Angels, that the Rangers have had so much success against the Angels this year?
There's no question. I mean, you know, the Angels are in first place. They're going to feel good about that. But the Rangers have pitched exceptionally well for Ron Washington against Mike Scioscia's team.
Young hits a fly ball. Rivera moving to his left. So Saunders comes back to get Michael Young after falling behind 3-0.
But what that does for the Rangers, they feel good about themselves going against the Angels, and they play well, particularly down there in Arlington and even here at the Big A, win 2 out of 3. But that being said, with the rotation that Mike Scioscia has going for him against Ron Washington here, they got to feel good about their chances in this series to reestablish himself as the better team. Even though the Angels are in first place, the Rangers feel comfortable playing the Angels this year.
Marlon Byrd steps in. I think both teams are looking forward to this series. The Angels have Saunders, Weaver, and Lackey. And the Rangers with Feldman, Millwood, and Holland, all good pitchers. So unlike what you might think in the back of your mind happens when the Angels play the Rangers, this could be a pitching-dominated series.
It should be. Well, John Lackey's on an unbelievable roll himself right now. Jerry Weaver last time out with 11 strikeouts.
Weaver goes tomorrow, and Lackey the final game, the day game, Wednesday.
Well, his fastball's been good. He even said his stuff wasn't quite as good as far as velocity on the fastball, but he had great sink on that fastball and then finished off the hitters with that curveball and had a solid changeup too.
Two 2-1 to Marlon Byrd. There goes Vizquel, and the pitch is popped up. Foul territory. Morales makes the catch. They had a little hit and run there, but Byrd pops it up.
Great decision, too. Kenyon Morales called off Mike Napoli. Much easier for an infielder coming in on that pop-up as compared to a catcher. Have to get out of that crouch position and make the play. So Kenry called him off. Mike Napoli doing what you're supposed to do. Calling initially, then Kenry calling him off. Good communication. Gets the easy out.
2 outs in the top of the first inning. And Andrew Jones, who had a 3-home-run game against the Angels earlier this year, steps up there with 17 home runs on the year. That'll get Vizquel to second base the easy way.
Curveball in the dirt. Nice job as far as squaring up the body, but I mentioned before, to spin from a curveball when it hits the dirt, sometimes as a catcher you don't know which way it's going to go. He had the body in that position, but it spun off his chest protector and got away.
Andrew Jones last year hit 158 with 3 home runs for the Dodgers. So he's back. Now 232 might not seem like much, but if you watched him play last year, it's a tremendous comeback. 3-0 now to Jones.
The thing is right here for Joe Son, he does have an open base, but you have a pretty darn good hitter on deck in Josh Hamilton. So I mean, you don't want to throw a fastball right down the middle part of the plate. Just try to hit the outside corner and come back like you did against Michael Young.
He walks Jones on 4 straight. 2 on, 2 out with Josh Hamilton coming up, and Butch going out to the mound.
And I think in those spots, we just talked about the open base, but early in the ball game, you don't want your opponent to have an opportunity to have a big inning situation. I think you're more aggressive, and I think that's what Mike Butcher is going to say to Joe Saunders right now. Be more aggressive. Your stuff warming up in the bullpen was solid. You had good sink on your fastball. Don't be afraid to throw a strike. Trust the movement that you're going to be able to get an out with it.
He has a great chance to get out of the inning, even though among 18 pitches he's thrown here in the first, only 7 have been strikes. And now Josh Hamilton. maybe one of the most naturally gifted players in the game right now, Josh Hamilton.
He's one of the few guys where you can actually say he's a five-tool player and be pretty confident you're right on that decision by saying that. And right now the batting average isn't where it's normally going to be, but he's a phenomenal player. He just had to battle some injuries this season.
Saunders starts him with a good curveball. 0-1 to Josh Hamilton. And he drills one right center field and deep, and Josh Hamilton has hit it out. And the Texas Rangers jump on the scoreboard 3-0 in the first inning.
That's the exact thing I was saying. When you walk a guy with an open base, you put yourself in a big inning situation, and one swing of the bat with a dangerous hitter like Josh Hamilton, and that's the result. Good pitch. The first pitch, a curveball, trying to go back inside with a fastball. Lefty versus lefty. If you leave it out over the plate, this is the result you're going to get. A little bit too much to the plate. Quick hand still for Hamilton. It's a 3-run home run. Gives Texas that early lead.
That's his 8th of the year. Here's Blaylock. So the Rangers get a single, a wild pitch, a walk, and then the 3-run shot. One and one to Blaylock. '21 home runs for Hank Blaylock, who hits one hard down the right field line toward the corner, and that ball is gone. It's back-to-back home runs for Hamilton and Blaylock. And the Texas Rangers have 4 runs in the top of the first. Number 22 for Hank Blaylock.
Well, Hank Blaylock with that strong swing. He's not afraid to swing as hard as he can. Trying to go on the outside part of the plate. Hanging, breaking pitch. Allow him to speed up the bat. Hank Blaylock hits that ball out. First 22nd home run. There's a club, they have 165 home runs, the Texas Rangers, which now is tops in the American League.
David Murphy, the batter. You talked about them having confidence when they go against the Angels. Well, a top of the first like this will just feed right into that, won't it?
Well, you got to stop it right at this particular point for Joe Saunders to throw up some zeros to get the offense going. But you got to get through the inning first. It makes some quality pitches.
Both of those batters left-handed hitters to hit him out against Joe. And there's a shot grabbed by Figgins at third base. Murphy lines out to end it, but Hamilton and Blaylock hit him out, and it's 4-0 Rangers.
curveball, and a changeup. Look for him to get lots of ground balls.
Sean Figgins takes strike one. Tall as right. He's 6'5", listed at 210 pounds. From the Bay Area, Scott Feldman says he's a fan of the San Francisco 49ers and the Golden State Warriors.
Wow, it's not easy to be the fan of those two teams going right now.
He never really does enjoy the offseason very much. No. The 0-2 to Figgins bounces up there, but he's certainly enjoying the season. He's won 10 games and lost only 4 for the Rangers this year.
And looking up at the scoreboard right now, his offense provides him with 4 runs, so he can be more aggressive. So jumping ahead of the count 1-2 now. Was 0-2. Sean Figgins, the spark plug for the Angel offense.
And it's bounced right back to Feldman. Defensively for the Rangers, the outfield is Murphy, Bird, and Hamilton. The infield, Young, Andrus, Vizquel, and Blaylock, with Taylor Teagarden catching Feldman.
Boy, and Elvis Andrus is one of the best young players in the American League. Just really good range. He will make some mistakes, erratic for any young player, but covers a lot of ground. Has made this defense that much better, allowed him to move Michael Young over to third base because he's that good at that shortstop position.
Meiser takes ball one. Well, Andrus' idol and mentor is his partner in the middle infield tonight, Omar Vizquel. Andrus is half Omar's age, but Vizquel has helped him immeasurably.
Part of the reason why he came aboard, to be able to work on him, just making the routine plays. He's very athletic, but it's the routine plays that help you win games. The spectacular ones get you on highlights, but it's the routine plays. And Omar, at one point when he was with Cleveland, him and Roberto Alomar up the middle, I mean, you can't get much better, more athletic than those two with just short second at that time with Cleveland.
Meiser, as Turris draws a one-out walk. Bobby Abreu stepping in. Bobby hitting .322, 9 homers and a team high 77 RBIs.
As many tall pitchers, it's an easier task to be able to try to be successful stealing the base. 13 out of the last 14 against Feldman on the hill. But pretty quick, 119 to 1-3 as far as times at the plate.
Feldman has missed with 5 straight pitches now. One ball, one strike. Last year they thought Feldman would spend the season in Double-A, and he pitched a couple of games there, then came to the Rangers and actually led the club in quality starts. So Ron Washington, happy to have him on the staff right from the beginning this year, and he's, well, you could almost say he's the ace of the staff, Gooby.
Very good. Like I said, that good sink action will cut the fastball. So he gets a lot of ground balls. Will give him a lot of innings. Well, his batting average only 242 against him.
1-1 to Abreu. Feldman's been great outside of Arlington. 6-1.
I don't blame him. That's definitely a hitter's ballpark down there in Arlington. I'd be rusty to get out of the start on the road.
Two balls, two strikes.
He has given up 10 home runs versus lefties. That's one way that for the Angels to get right back in this game if Bobby can square one up.
just missed with that one. Full count.
Well, he tried to cut the fastball, bring it to the back part of that plate, just missed it. 3-2 count, 1 out. For Meister to be on the move because Meister has all the confidence that Bobby will either get work the walk or put the ball in play.
And then you have Vlad Guerrero in that cleanup spot waiting on deck. As Turris goes, Abreu hits one foul. Well, you mentioned Abreu squaring one up. He certainly did yesterday for his 250th career home run.
Boy, that's typical Bobby Abreu too. Worked that count there, went the other way, left center for number 250.
And check out the new R Performance vehicles at your local Jaguar dealer on JaguarUSA.com.
Well, Bobby ended up being he's in some pretty select category now with that 250th home run, with the run scored, the RBI, the walks, stolen bases, all-time numbers.
And he grounds one. Foul.
Off his foot.
Yep, got him on the foot. Blaylock was going to take it to the bag, but home plate umpire Bill Hahn said, no, wait a minute. Now Abreu is certainly saying, hey, that definitely hit me in the foot. And to the point where athletic trainer Ned Berger's going to come out and make sure he's all right.
Might have almost got him in the knee. The way he's reacting on that one.
Well, here's a guy you really do not want to take out of the lineup.
See right here, cutter right off the leg, inside part of the knee.
We see that more and more, Gooby. Players used to foul them off their foot fairly frequently, but now you see guys taking it off the knee or the shin a lot more.
The vogue pitch now in baseball is that cut fastball for right-handers going inside of lefty. So you see that a lot. It's usually a slider or a sinker. It'll be down in the zone, but the cut fastball is around the belt. So when you hit that ball on the inside part of the plate, it's going to hit you in your thigh, sometimes the knee, or at least in the shin area.
All places you really don't want to get hit.
No, not at all.
With his Turris running, Abreu takes ball 4. Back-to-back walks, and the Angels with a chance to get right back in it in the bottom of the first. By the way, speaking of all the numbers for Abreu, this is his 1900th career game tonight. A very consistent performer. Now Vlad Guerrero. A big at-bat early in the game for Vladdy. Fouls the first pitch back. Vladdy anxious to contribute, really just wanting to be a part of the Angels offensive machine so badly. And now on the other side of the coin, Feldman's probably thinking, I might be able to get a double play out of this guy. We'll see what happens.
They do pitch inside a lot to Vlad. The Rangers do. They'll throw inside and then throw the slider off the outside corner.
For a while, Ron Washington used to put a shift on for Vlad, and that would be rare for a right-handed hitter, but you'd see 3 infielders on the left side. With 2 men on, they're not doing it now, but we'll see later in the game if he bats with nobody on if they try it.
Well, but Vlad has this unbelievable career numbers against the Rangers.
Well, he could really get the crowd going and get the Angels back in the game if he were to tag one right here. He pops one instead into shallow right, just out of Vizquel's reach. That'll load the bases. So it's a base hit either way. He didn't get a hold of it, but it's a single.
And there's nothing right there that Meister Stores can do, or Bobby Abreu. They got to make sure this baseball lands in the outfield grass. Omar Vizquel, so talented, was almost able to get back and make that play. It's down 4-0. You don't want to take a chance there. Now Vlad gets another base hit against the Rangers. Bases loaded. Now the chance to get all the way back in the game, thanks to Scott Feldman walking 2 batters.
Bases loaded, 1 out, and Juan Rivera, a very dangerous hitter at the plate. Juan has 18 home runs this year.
317 batting average with 42 RBI with the bases loaded. Patience, that's the key with the bases loaded for a hitter.
You know, Vladdy now very quietly and going back several weeks now has a 9-game hitting streak going. And he'll laugh about that last hit right there. But the Rangers probably don't quite see the humor in it at the moment. Good curveball, 1-1.
Smart pitch by Feldman there. Fastball count, bases loaded. As a hitter, you're thinking he has to throw a strike. He threw him a curveball instead. Juan couldn't hold off on that one.
Check swing, strike two. This is a big moment early in this game and early in this 3-game series, Gooby.
Chance to get all the way back in there. Mike Scioscia's looking for an opportunity to get back in the first. What Scott Feldman do? He walks Meiser and he walked Bobby Abreu, and Vlad Flores went in the right. So the chances are there for Juan Rivera, who's had an outstanding season so far. Chance to pad that RBI total also. Now it's 61 on the season.
The Angels with his Torres at third, Abreu at second, and Guerrero at first. Two balls, two strikes.
Well, I got to believe he just showed that fastball. Now he's going to try to get Juan to see if he's swinging that curveball in the dirt again.
That's Kendry Morales in the on-deck circle. One out in the bottom of the first. He didn't chase the breaking ball, and the count goes full. 3-2 to Juan Rivera.
Well, you wonder as a pitcher, Feldman, not a lot of experience at the big league level. I always, with the base loaded situation, you always think as a hitter you're going to get a fastball. I love to throw a slider in this particular point. Because, you know, Juan Rivera wants to get an RBI.
This is already the 25th pitch of this first inning for Scott Feldman. 3-2 to Juan Rivera. He walked in a run. Very close pitch. But jogging in from third is Torres. The Angels are on the board 4-1.
Scott Feldman's asking Teagard, where was that pitch at? That was well executed. Fastball on the inside part of the plate. It froze Juan Rivera on that spot.
Well, Juan is fortunate, I think, that it also froze Bill Hahn.
Mike Maddox, the pitching coach for the Rangers, out there at the mound trying to calm him down. May stay out there for a while just to ask the home plate umpire where that pitch was. Hahn decided he knew that was the procedure they were trying to pull.
He decided not to go to the mound.
Bill Hahn's a very good umpire too, though. He's pretty consistent.
Now Kendry Morales. Base is still loaded. Feldman has walked 3 in the inning. Now the U.S. Marines leaders of the game, Kendry Morales, since the 12th of June, has just been on fire. And he takes a strike there, almost the same pitch Feldman would like to have had one pitch earlier. 0-1 to Kendry.
Boy, the confidence you see in Kendry Morales' eyes, whether he's batting right or left, since that June 12th.
0-2. He chased a high fastball right there. You mentioned Maddox, the pitching coach, coming out a moment ago. You have to give him a lot of credit this year, don't you?
Well, he's a master. He knows exactly how to get into a pitcher's mind to be more confident, more aggressive.
And he strikes out Morales on 3 pitches after the visit from Maddox. 2 outs in the inning.
Boy, the last 2 pitches back-to-back elevated fastballs. As a hitter, they looks like you can crush that baseball, but because of the location of it, it gets by you so quickly. And at 91, 92 with some movement, it's tough to hit. But it's also tough to leave off as if you're a hitter, especially in an RBI situation.
Now Eric Ibar with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Three walks and a bloop single. That's it for the Angels so far in the inning. But a timely hit right here would get them right back in the game. And it's 2-0 to Ibar.
Regardless of the situation, even if Ibar does not come through with a hit here in this spot, the Angels are back in the game. So Scott Feldman allowed them to feel they're part of it because he made those bad pitches, gave the Angels a run. And all of a sudden you feel that he doesn't have overpowering stuff, so you're always going to have confidence coming up there at the plate.
Washington has watched Feldman throw 31 pitches now, and he's 3-0 to Ibar.
And he's getting upset with himself, too. Borderline pitch is not getting the benefit, but when you're walking that many guys, you're not going to get a borderline pitch. Now, Ibar's got to be taking 1 or 2 pitches now to see if he can get that run across via the walk.
Three and one.
Mike Maddox looking on. Let's see if his pitcher has the confidence to be able to throw a strike here in this spot.
Strike 2 as Ibar was ready to toss the bat away.
Well, that pitch was up. Fastball. Oh, that's at the letters. Time to see a catcher reaching up, too. Unlikely you're not going to get that call, but now 3-2. Runners will be going. Better opportunity for Vlad to be able to score from second.
Ibar, a broken back ground ball to shortstop. And the Angels settle for 1. The Angels leave them loaded. They got 1 run on 3 walks and a bloop single. Only 1 run. And Joe Saunders trying to have a much better second inning than his first inning. And he has struggled against the Rangers this year, Gooby.
Boy, that's some unbelievable numbers. 10 innings pitched, 19 earned runs with 9 home runs allowed. But Joe Saunders, before that first inning at home against the Rangers, 3-0 with a 1.44 as compared to 0-5 on the road with an 11 ERA.
And Taylor Teagarden leading off for Texas.
He has liked pitching against the Rangers before this first inning against them at home a lot more than on the road.
There's a shot into left field, and the Rangers have a good start to their second inning. Rivera skidding to try to pick it up. He has a strong throw to second, but Teagarden's in with a double. Now, when you have a pitcher, Gooby, with the numbers that Joe has against the Rangers this year, and he's gotten off to this kind of a start, where do you go if you're the pitching coach or the manager? What can you say?
Well, you just hope at some point something clicks in. But then as a pitcher, when you're getting hit around like this against a club, you wonder if you're tipping pitches. And what I mean by that is if you're doing something different on a curveball, fastball, are you giving away location? Are they seeing something on that bench to be able to get such good swings against you?
Elvis Andrus, the batter. Around a bunt, pulls it back on ball one. Elvis said early on he had two favorite players growing up, Derek Jeter and Omar Vizquel. So there he is in the batter's box. Omar's on deck behind him. That has to be a great feeling for a young player. He's 20 years old.
Came over in that Teixeira trade with Atlanta.
He gets the bunt down. Saunders goes to first and just does get him. It's a sacrifice bunt. Moving Teagarden over to third.
The first pitch he squared around the bunt on a curveball, but took it. Then he had an opportunity to swing away, try to hit to the right side, fouled it off, and then Ron Washington put the bunt back on. That's the right decision for Ron Washington and the Rangers at this point. You want to see if you can respond to the Angels run by trying to get one across yourself. Omar up with the infield in for the Angels.
Omar Vizquel, a base hit to center field, his first time up.
Well, one thing's for sure, you can see with Bill Hahn behind the plate, he's definitely a high ball umpire. He will call the pitch up in his zone. Although if that's not your game, it's a difficult adjustment for a pitcher to make.
Good fastball to Vizquel, 0-2. Teagarden, the runner at third base. Dave Anderson is the coach at third base. Played many years in the infield with the Dodgers and then with the Giants. Two and two to Vizquel.
Talk about big points of a baseball game, even though it's only the second inning. This is a bbig point for the Angels and in particular for Joe Saunders to try to get through this inning.
He's gone from 0-2 to 3-2 with a very tough hitter, Michael Young, on deck. He hit that one hard, but foul. He pulled that one to the view level seats, way down the left field line.
Well, he made the adjustment. Joe Saunders doing a lot of fastballs in the inside part of the plate on him. As a veteran hitter, you're going to try to guess with him and try to get the bat head out quickly.
Curveball fouled back. One thing the Rangers have done here in the early part of the game is force Joe to throw a lot of pitches. He has one out in the second inning, and this will be his 40th pitch of the night. Vizquel rounds that one past Anderson, the third base coach. Foul.
Well, with that changeup in the outside corner, it's a perfect time if Joe has the confidence to use that sinking fastball right on the outside corner.
Mike Butcher trying to will Saunders through this inning. This is the 9th pitch to Omar. And it's a base hit into center field to drive in a run. Omar Vizquel is 2 for 2, and the Rangers are up 5-1. And Butch is on the telephone. Matt Palmer getting up
Well, it was just enough. It was elevated enough for Omar Vizquel to get a good part of the battle and then hit that ball up the middle for a base hit. Sink action on. That's what Joe needs, a sink on the fastball.
During your great career with the Royals, Gooby, there must have been a team that gave you problems. Now, the chances of Saunders tipping his pitches probably aren't very good, but what happens when one particular team just knocks you around?
Well, I talked before about the Tigers in Tiger Stadium.
Yes.
Couldn't get through them at all. But as far as in Texas, in their ballpark, I had a tough time myself. But I think when it comes down to, there's certain hitters, whether they're in the game or on the bench, can see if you're doing something. In particular, when you're throwing a fastball or a curveball. And as we go along, I'll explain that, because when I was pitching against Baltimore, Rene Gonzalez, who ended up being an Angel, picked something up what I was doing when I was throwing a slider at one point in my career.
Michael Young takes ball one, so there was a point where you felt like you were tipping.
You remember how, like, Michael Jordan, when he was going for a layup, he had his tongue out like
Yes.
that? When I used to do that when I threw a slider, and I couldn't believe it. I didn't believe anything he said, but I went back and looked at video. Had my mouth closed when I threw a fastball, my mouth open when I threw a slider, and eventually I figured out how to make sure I kept my mouth shut, which I'm sure you prefer as it is.
You might want to go back and review those videos again.
I'm sure. I had to make sure I stopped you before you had that punchline to finish up. But it was, I couldn't believe that they picked that up. But there's little things. Sometimes a pitcher will do something with his finger when he's going for a split finger or a slider in his glove. Little things like that. That good players on the bench will pick that up. Or most teams have a coach that can pick it up. Now, I'm not saying they're seeing that at Joe Saunders, but it makes you think that because, well, your stuff is still good, but yet they're comfortable against you.
But why would one team see it and not the other 15?
They don't want to share that information with other clubs. You just want to have success against that pitcher. They're not going to give that information out. But like I said, I'm not saying that they see something out of Joe, but you wonder. And these are some, I mean, Joe Saunders is an all-star pitcher. You see Mike Butcher trying to think what he has to do, what he has to be successful. Does he make Texas move their feet? Don't make them as comfortable.
There goes Vizquel, and Young grounds it to shortstop. Ibar throws him out. Vizquel able to stay out of the double play. 2 outs, and you still have to get through Marlon Byrd. But wouldn't you have thought, Gooby, that if one team saw your tongue out during the curveball, that several of them would have noticed it?
Well, maybe there's not a guy that can pick that. Jim Edmonds, former Angel, was very good at picking up stuff that a pitcher would do on one pitch as compared to another. But Rene Gonzalez never told me this either. It was Bob Melvin, who was a catcher. He ended up being a catcher for us in Kansas City. Told me that. Well, I would have never known that either. It was, I used to have success against Baltimore, and all of a sudden they weren't swinging at my slider in the dirt. I'm like, wow, how do they leaving off it now? Mm-hmm. Well, that's what it was. It was little things like that that good, whether it be a coach or a guy on the bench, right, can pick that stuff up.
1-0 to Marlon Byrd. Now 2-0. Well, I always have a little smile on my face when I'm about to say something bad about you. It's just to tip you off.
Well, thank you. I always knew we were close, Roy. Again, the emphasis on, Texas has maybe seen the ball well against Joe Saunders. He may not be doing anything at all. But like I said, as a pitcher, you think in those lines. Because then you go in and look at video. Am I doing something different? It's all part of making yourself better. As both a hitter or a pitcher, just those extra things, look at video, extra work.
That one gets away from Napoli and it hit Byrd. Joe really struggling here. I think that got him on the foot. And here comes Soch. He's not going to watch Joe struggle any longer. It's going to be a very short outing tonight for Joe Saunders. Just an inning and 2/3, and he's coming out. Tough night for Joe. He leaves trailing the Texas Rangers 5-1, and they'll hope to get a lot of innings now out of Matt Palmer.
Ground ball. before, and this is our in and out, who's in, who's out. Joe Saunders obviously out of the game. Matt Palmer in the game. It's a bad feeling because you want to, in a game of this importance, you're facing a club right now. It's right behind you. It's played well against you this season. You want to throw up a bunch of zeros and perform, but now it's going to be up to Matt Palmer to pick up Joe Saunders. 9-1 record, solid ERA, 4.53, and just about 90 innings pitched. Big thing is cuts the fastball well, sinks the fastball, a good curveball and a changeup. Boy, Mike Scioscia needs some innings out of Matt Palmer tonight. He gets to get through this inning here.
2 men on with 2 out, and Andrew Jones, who walked his first time up, the only walk given up by Saunders. Jones has had a bounce back season, hitting 17 home runs for the Rangers. Two and 0. There's another showdown series going on in the American League this weekend. The Red Sox and Yankees are in the bottom of the 10th inning tonight at Yankee Stadium. No score.
But John Smoltz, who pitched last night for the Red Sox, was let go today by the Red Sox. That experiment fell apart quickly.
3-0 to Jones, and that's ball 4 to Andrew, who walks for the second time tonight. But we never would have thought we'd see John Smoltz and Jason Giambi released on the same day, but it happened today.
Mike Butcher, Mike Scioscia looking on, and see Matt Palmer walk Andrew Jones. Now you have to face Josh Hamilton, a left-handed batter, going against the right-handed pitcher Matt Palmer, who had already hit a 3-run home run earlier today. Not an enviable position to be in right now for Mike Butcher and Mike Scioscia.
Well, the game could turn around right here. You get Josh and you stay in the game. And if he hits one, you're really in bad shape.
Not great numbers with the base load, 269 with 28 RBI. So a chance to get out of this inning, and you're right, they're still in the game, the Angels.
And he grounds it right to the second baseman as Turris makes the play, and the Rangers leave them loaded. They get 1 run in the second and lead 5-1. The Texas Rangers, they have the jump on the Angels so far in this game, 5-1 in the second inning.
Plenty of time for the Angels to get back in the game, though. Best in baseball as far as comeback wins, 34 of them. Got the work cut out for them, down by 4.
Mike Napoli leads off the bottom of the second. Strike one from Scott Feldman. Napoli, Matthews, and Figgins. The Angels did send 7 men to the plate in the first inning, but they left them loaded, getting just 1 run. Napoli hits one in the air to center field. Marlon Byrd right there. Well, Napoli just lined out, but he can console himself with the knowledge that his bobblehead night is coming up. It's Tuesday, the 11th. All fans here will receive that free Mike Napoli bobblehead courtesy of Big O Tires, and there it is. Some of those will have an authentic autograph from Napoli on the item. So get your tickets at angelsbaseball.com for Tuesday night, the Angels and the Rays.
He was so excited about doing that promo, too, watching him that day.
I'm sure none of his teammates gave him any grief at all when he was out there taping that.
Not one of them.
No.
Maybe 15 of them, but not one.
One ball, one strike to Gary Matthews. Two and one.
Well, the thing you look at Scott Feldman is a guy that gets a lot of ground balls, but he has given up 14 home runs. So anytime a sinker ball pitcher elevates a pitch, that's a chance to get one and drive one out of the ballpark.
Two balls, two strikes to Gary Matthews. And a base hit for Gary. So Matthews, who obviously is playing every day now with Torrey Hunter out, has done a good job. It's not that his batting average has gone skyrocketing through the roof, but it's gone from somewhere in the low 220s to the mid 240s, and he's been solid.
And that was a good swing. That was a fastball. That was up. We're talking about a sinker ball pitcher. When the fastball is up, it straightens out, and he was able to go the other way with that pitch. And you're right, he's done a nice job. Torrey Hunter, we just saw there, getting close to a rehab assignment himself. Gary filled in perfectly there for Torrey Hunter.
Sean Figgins tapped one back to the mound in the first inning. The Rangers have not only done well against the Angels this year, but they've really performed well in their own division. Against the West, the Rangers are 22-12, and that'll definitely help you stay right in the pennant race, won't it?
And Rob Washington has it. You know, they're always a team to get home runs, but they're stealing the bases too. They got 94 stolen bases as a club. They're more aggressive. They're pitching much better. You saw Mike Maddox there too. He's done a great job with that, so that's why they've been playing well within the division. It gives you a chance to stay in a race. They're not going away.
No, if they were going away, they would already be away. They're going to hang in here because they not only have the Angels in their sights, but they have a shot at the wild card, Gooby. They could knock either the Yankees or the Red Sox out of the playoffs. And wouldn't that get some reaction around baseball?
Especially if you're either the Yankee or a Red Sox, and you just assume you're going to make either win it as your division or make it as a wild card.
I mean, right now, Boston would win the wild card if the playoffs started today. but the Rangers are 2 games behind them. So they have a couple of different ways to maybe get into the playoffs. And that would be a great achievement, really, for Ron Washington. Two balls and 2 strikes to Sean Figgins. You know, the Rangers have a big lead in this game, Gooby, but Feldman has not been razor sharp here.
And you just feel that, you know, the Angels are going to get all the way back in this game. If you keep giving gifts like Scott Feldman has done so far as the walk and falling behind and throwing a lot of pitches, eventually he's going to make a mistake.
With Matthews running, the ball's hit sharply to second, and Vizquel starts a great double play for the Texas Rangers. Tyler Skaggs, one of the young Angel draft choices, will join us next inning. Tyler Skaggs is with us. Congratulations on becoming an Angel.
Thank you.
It's great to hear.
Yep.
Santa Monica High School, huh?
Yep.
Just finished up your career there?
Yes, I did, and I just signed today.
Fantastic. Congratulations. What was that like to write your name on that contract?
It was great. I mean, I grew up loving the Angels, so
really?
It was a dream come true.
Here you are at Santa Monica High School, and then you get a chance to play for the Angels in your hometown. I mean, you mentioned how exciting. I mean, it's got to be a dream come true. I mean, what's the chances? I mean, when you think about it, get drafted by a team you watched all these years.
Yep. I mean, it's just a dream come true. I grew up loving the Angels, and they're my favorite team still to this day.
Hank Blaylock rounds out to start the 3rd inning. Well, tell us about your season at Santa Monica High this year.
It was a really good season. I messed up my ankle halfway in, but it was a pretty solid season. Pitched really well in the beginning and at the end.
Lefty?
Yeah.
All right. We can always use another left hand.
Oh, yeah.
I was joking around with you. I knew you were in the same conference as one of the CIF playoffs as Crespi High School, and even beat my old team, the Chaminade Eagles, in the Valley there, too, man. So, hey, good job.
Thank you.
Well, we put together a little scouting report on you, Tyler, and let's see it after this next pitch to David Murphy. All right. That's not bad stuff there.
88-92 with talent action. You got a good curveball, 12-7 variety, and a changeup. Still in development, though.
Yeah, I've been working on the bullpens. It's a work in progress, though.
How you are as far as negating the running game? You got a good move at first?
Yeah, pretty good.
Well, you know, it's nice and cool, great breeze in Santa Monica. You're close to the beach. You're going to Tempe, Arizona Sunday. Might be just a tad warmer there.
Yeah, it's going to be very hot.
Now, the changeup, the pitch you're working on, is what kind of a grip are you trying to work with right now?
Like a circle change.
David Murphy Hits one to the wall in left center field for the Rangers. 1 out, 1 on for Texas.
Obviously, when you have overpowering stuff at 92 mile an hour, you don't have to throw a whole lot of changeups in. That's what it is. So as a youngster, though, that is one of the most important pitches is the changeup. And I know when you get down there to Tempe, you're going to work with some great people down there in that minor league system to work on your off-speed pitches.
Gooby, this is your chance to give a teenage pitcher who just signed with the Angels some of your sage advice. So what do you tell a guy like Tyler?
Throw strikes.
Yes.
Well, other than that. Boy, that's
You'll
great.
say throw strikes, Babe Ruth
You'll
is dead.
always thank Gooby when you have a successful career.
When you win your 21st game, in the next few years in a big league level, you're going to say, "Hey, it's because I got that advice."
Yeah, I'll never
throw strikes.
Never forget what Mark Gubazon told me.
Oh, but that is, it's really the thing that is the most important thing at any level, whether it's the major leagues or the minor league. That was throwing that first pitch strike. We showed Mike Maddox. We saw Mike Butcher, they're both pitching coaches here, always stressing that first pitch strike.
Yep. I actually talked to Butch before the game. He said just pound the strike zone when you get there. Just pound it, pound it, pound it.
So what do you think about watching some of these hitters right now at the big league level? You think you can get any of these guys out?
Yeah, I think so.
I like that. The confidence. So if you're facing, a Michael Young or a Josh Hamilton right now, what are you going to try to do to him?
Wow. I mean, he just hit a home run, but probably fastball.
You noticed that, huh?
Yeah. Fastball inside, maybe change up, and then maybe throw a ball just to get him off, and then maybe a slider.
All right. I like that. That is a pretty good one right there.
Yeah.
You get ahead. 0-2. See, you're throwing strikes like you already learned already on the job here. Then you make them think of another pitch and then finish them off with your breaking pitch, your secondary pitch.
Yep.
You know it already.
Yep.
God, it'd be great to have Gooby as a coach, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
2-2 to Taylor Teagarden, who takes ball 3. So you said you were always an Angel fan. Give me a couple of names. Who are the guys you really liked?
I used to love Troy Glaus.
Yeah.
Love Tim Salmon, especially when they won the World Series, when Troy Percival, K-Rod, John Lackey starting this Game 7. It's amazing.
2002. That really was an amazing year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I loved it.
So you see all the success this club has had over the last 5 or 6 seasons, winning the division, and you got the All-Star game coming here next year at the Big A. So I mean, there's a lot of excitement here, and all the talk has been it's a very successful draft by the Angels, and you being part of it, it's got to be a good feeling for you.
Yeah, it feels real good.
Yeah, there's a walk to Teagarden. So having grown up an Angel fan, as you said, when you find out you're the 40th selection overall and it's the Angels who took you, what was your reaction to that?
I was speechless. I didn't know what to say. It was just a dream come true.
Family excited about that too?
Yeah, I'm very excited because, 30 minutes away from the house, driving to the games, it'd be great.
That would be pretty amazing.
It'd be pretty tight, yeah.
2 on with 1 out here, and Elvis Andrus at the plate for the Rangers.
Any idea what your plan is going to be when you get there to Tempe? Because here you are, August 7th. The minor league season only goes for just a few more weeks before whether you have Arizona Fall League or something like that. But what's the plan as far as what your job is going to be when you get down to Tempe?
The plan is when I get there, just long toss, work out every day, bullpens until my arm feels ready to pitch, and then hopefully be back ready to go by the playoffs, and then just get invited back to Instructional League and just keep pitching there, and hopefully they move me up from there.
That's good. Instructional League, I think, is something that most people don't really know a lot about, but it's such an important part because you develop everything.
Yeah.
Because you're going down and work on your fielding skills, your ability to throw bullpens and work and throw strikes. Obviously, work as far as your pickoff move to first base, all those little things. And also, you get to watch other players, position players fielding the ball and realize that as a high school player, though, you can make pitches and get guys out, but all of a sudden you're facing professionals and you have to be focused on every single pitch.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a totally different experience, but I think I'm ready for it.
Well, as Gooby said, throw strikes and be on time. That's all we can tell you.
So what was your best, most favorite moment, pitching in the high school level?
I would have to say 2 years ago in the CIF championship game, we played at Dodger Stadium. Pitched. I was only a sophomore, so it was a great experience.
Who did you guys play against in that? Remember?
Charter Oaks.
Oh, okay.
We lost. It wasn't that good of a game, but it was just exciting to be there.
Well, we're really thrilled to have you as a member of the family. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tyler Skaggs, the newest Angel.
Tyler, congratulations, man. Remember, throw strikes.
Yes, always.
And be on time.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for stopping by.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, this inning has been another tough one for the Angels, as Matt Palmer now is facing a bases loaded situation with only one out.
And a key point in the game, if you can get through this, you have a shot. But boy, this offense of the Rangers has been locked in, and it's only the third inning. So each and every time it looks like it can expand the lead, but you still have a chance to get out if you make a good quality pitch, get a ground ball, double play.
Meanwhile, Omar Vizquel, the 42-year-old leadoff man of the Rangers, has been up twice. He's had hits both times, and now here in the third inning, he's already batting for the third time. One and 0 to Omar. Back-to-back walks here in this inning. One and 1 to Vizquel. Angel pitching has given up 4 walks and 1 hit batter, in addition to the 6 hits the Rangers have. And there's a shot into right field. Vizquel is 3 for 3. He drives in a run, and the Rangers lead it 6-1. Well, he's having quite a day. Omar has batted 3 times in 3 innings, and he has hits each time up.
Well, you thought with Ian Kinsler not in the lineup be an advantage for the Angels, but Omar with his third base hit, second RBI, he's putting the ball in play, not trying to do too much.
Now Justin Spire getting ready. With the bases loaded and 1 out, the Rangers really with a chance to break it wide open early. And Michael Young at the plate. The Angels need a double play ball here in the worst way, Gooby.
It's the only chance at this point, especially with a great hitter like Michael Young, to be able to stay involved in this game. Difficult guy to be able to strike out. He's a contact hitter. You can pretty much pencil Michael Young in for 200+ hits every year. So he's going to put in play. You just hope he can center and hit a ground ball at one of your infielders.
One and 2 to Michael Young. They're in the 12th inning, by the way, at Yankee Stadium. Red Sox and Yankees, no score. And Palmer about to throw his 25th pitch of this inning. Young went around. Strike 3. Big strikeout for Palmer. 2 outs in the inning.
Well, you don't see that too often. It's Michael Young, but it was a breaking pitch. Fooled him, and he clearly crossed the plate. That was a strikeout. Big pitch for Matt Palmer.
Marlon Byrd has popped up and been hit by a pitch. The Angels trying to hang in this game. The Rangers scored 1 run in the second, but left them loaded. They've scored 1 here in the third, and Scioscia would love to see them leave the bases loaded again. But so far, there hasn't been much enjoyment in this ball game for Mike Scioscia.
Well, Mike was a former catcher too, and what he sees out of his pitcher so far tonight is not being aggressive, throwing strikes, and that's the thing that gets him upset the most. He'd rather have him pitch to contact. If they get a hit, there's nothing you can do about that. But when you're walking guys, giving the other team an opportunity, it's a bad decision.
Strike into Byrd, 0-1. He needs innings out of Matt Palmer now with Joe Saunders gone after an inning and 2/3. Palmer throwing a lot of pitches in this inning. Whoa, that one came up. I want to say Napoli did a great job of blocking it, but I don't think he meant to take it off the mask.
Wow, and again, we saw that breaking pitch in the dirt. You never know exactly how it's going to spin off the dirt. All you can do as a catcher is put your body in position. There's probably many foul tips has hit his mask as hard as that pitch did, and when it hit the dirt, came up and got him.
1 ball, 2 strikes now to Bird. Bases loaded, 2 outs. There's a good block by Napoli. And a 2-2 count on Marlon Bird.
Napoli's getting his work in today. Number of pitches in the dirt whenever he can to keep the baseball from getting away and allowing the Rangers to get further ahead of the Angels there. He's doing a nice job.
This is the 30th pitch of the inning for Matt Palmer. And he strikes Bird out with it. So the Rangers get another run, but for the second straight inning, they leave him loaded. Tonight, the Texas Rangers enjoying a 6-1 lead, but it's only the bottom of the 3rd inning. Meiser is Turris. Leads off for the Angels.
Well, you just feel that the Angels aren't out of this game, even though it's 6-1, because of Scott Feldman's inability to be consistently around the strike zone. You always have a chance.
He walked Meiser his first time up, and as Turris came around to score in the 1st inning. Feldman got a big double play ball to get out of the 2nd inning. But he is a long way from razor sharp tonight. It's 2-1 to his Turris. Two balls, 2 strikes. Abreu and Vlad Guerrero to follow Meiser here in this 3rd inning. through the right side, and a leadoff base hit for his Turris. So the Angels get their third hit of the ball game. His Turris over there at first, talking to Orlando Mercado, coaching first tonight.
Sinker, fastball over the middle part of the plate. It wanted to be on the outside corner. Base hit for Meisers.
Mercado is coaching first because Alfredo Griffin is in Toronto helping the Blue Jays celebrate their back-to-back championships.
16th season in the Angel organization for Orlando Mercado, one of the great human beings in the game.
Along with yourself, naturally.
Well, and you too, or if that's what you're fishing for.
Bobby Abreu walked his first time up. Orlando came up with the Seattle Mariners as a player and teamed with Edwin Nunez as the youngest battery of all time at the time. I think Mercado was 18 and Nunez was 19. Or it might have been the other way around. They were pitcher and catcher at that time. Neither one of them was beyond a teenager. That's right to the second baseman, Vizquel, who starts the double play for the Rangers. Omar Vizquel's having quite a game, Gooby. He has 3 hits, 2 RBIs, and that's the second double play he has started.
You can see how quick he is with his hands. Ground ball right out, quick flip over to short, perfect flip to Andrews to get that 4-6-3 double play. Look at his hands, just perfect hands, great flip. A lot of times you'll see a second baseman flip that baseball like that, it'll be low. You get a chance to break up the double play, but that was a perfect feed. Now they are playing the shift against Vlad.
Yes, they are. 3 infielders on the left. We've seen Vladdy whistle some balls through the right side this year. It's 0-2 to Guerrero. Vlad, his first time up, had a bloop single to right field.
Vlad this time getting a steady diet of breaking pitches out of Scott Feldman. Trying to make Vlad fish for a pitch out of the zone. Now coming back in with a fastball.
And Vlad pops it up. The Rangers make an error.
See, Teagarden's going to get the error on that ball, but Hank Blaylock, who was coming in because of he's playing so far away, still an easier play for an infielder coming in. Teagarden looked like he was looking for Hank Blaylock to help him out and call that off.
But I think because of the shift, Blaylock was too far away to feel like he could get to it. Although right there he does slow up a little bit.
Again, you're talking about a guy, Hank Blaylock was a third baseman for a while too.
And Vladdy hits the ball right into the shift. Andrews throws him out, and the Angels are out in the third inning, trailing 6-1. is the only player to have hit 100 or more home runs with the Angels, but he was born in Texas. It's not something I've given a lot of thought to over the years, but I guess I'll think about it now.
What? Tim Salmon? Was he born in Texas?
I don't know. That's a tough question. Andrew Jones.
Was Dean Chance born in Texas?
Definitely, yes. And he also hit over 100 home runs. There's a ground ball down to first. Morales goes to the bag himself to take care of Jones. Time now for our Lexus pursuing perfection. These two guys, Hamilton and Blaylock, in the first inning, back to back.
Boy, a fastball that didn't get quite inside enough against Hamilton, and the breaking pitch elevated for Blaylock. Team full of power. That is our Lexus pursuing perfection.
And here's Hamilton again with a base hit into left field. So Josh is 2 for 3 tonight. And Blaylock coming up.
That's one thing scary about Texas. Josh Hamilton really hasn't done a lot for him offensively this season with all the injuries, but if he gets hot, the way he's swinging the bat so far tonight, it really makes this offense scary, which has kind of underperformed for in the Rangers scheme of things. Their pitching is the reason why they're in this race right now, not their offense necessarily.
Their offense has been good, but by Rangers standards, it's below what it's been in past years. You know, there's a player who is no longer with Texas that I think a lot of people have forgotten how good he was and how important he was in their lineup, and that's Milton Bradley. Milton performed extremely well for the Rangers, and they miss him in the middle of this order.
And a great eye switch hitter for the Rangers.
1-0 to Blaylock.
Boy, look at the offensive numbers. The Angels have scored 605 runs coming into the game. Texas 512. That's 93 more runs the Angels have scored than the Rangers. But they've pitched very well this year, Texas.
Hank Blaylock, 22 home runs, so he's been hitting. He's had a little bit of a slump when we saw him earlier this year in Arlington.
Well, he wasn't even playing in a couple of those games, but came in and had that big pinch hit walk-off hit down there in Arlington. But yes, he's a guy that streaky hitter. Will swing and miss often, but when he's on one of his streaks, he can carry a ball club with his power.
I think one of the vivid images of Hank Blaylock to me, Gooby, is him high-fiving Mike Scioscia after hitting a home run in the 2003 All-Star game that helped the American League win. And that's one of the great things about the All-Star game is you see things like that. It'll be here next year, of course. But it was a huge home run by Blaylock to help Scioscia's team win.
That was against Eric Gagne, I think, wasn't it?
That's
in
right.
That All-Star game.
Yeah.
And just the All-Star game will be here.
And Scioscia would love to be managing it again with Blaylock on his team. Again, would be just fine with him.
Not too far away, less than a year away now. The All-Star game here at the Big A.
Oh, they had Hamilton, but did not complete the play.
Rick Ibar tried to catch that sweep tag right away. Not a great jump. Stumbled just a tad out of the blocks. Had a chance, but hit his glove. Tried to apply the tag. That was a good catch and throw by Napoli. But Eric just took his eye off the baseball. Didn't look it into the glove before the tag was applied.
Really looked like they were going to get him. But now Hamilton's at second, and it's 3-1 to Blaylock. Palmer with a good breaking ball strikes him out.
Well, that was a good slow curveball. Play like a guy that likes to hit the fastball. 12-6 variety on this curveball gets him out in front, gets the strikeout.
2 outs. David Murphy stepping in now for the Rangers. They're in the 13th inning at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees and Red Sox no score.
The baseball flies out of Yankee Stadium now. That's a big surprise.
The Yankees beat them yesterday for the first time this year. 0-1 now to Murphy. And going into that game tonight, the Yankees have a 3.5 game lead over the Red Sox. Oh, 0-1 to Murphy. On the outside corner, strike 2.
Murphy's had the Angels' number over his career is a .351 batting average. So you do have an open base. Although you're down by 5, you don't want to give too many more runners. But here's a guy that's had a lot of success against the Angels.
One ball, 2 strikes to David Murphy. Beautiful night at the Big A, but the home crowd has not had too much to cheer about yet. High fastball strikes out Murphy. Palmer does a nice job to get out of the 4th. Don was born in Austin, Texas. I didn't know that. Did you?
No. MVP for the Angels. One of the most intimidating hitters you'll ever see at the plate. And just a great human being, too. Just a soft-spoken guy, but he was right on top of the plate, daring you to throw something in the inside part.
And what happened if that inside pitch got out over the plate a little bit?
It was gone. I'm in his book.
2-0 to Juan Rivera.
Well, he crushed one against me in Kansas City when he was a member of the Red Sox. They got out so quick.
Juan had a walk his first time up. Two and two. Michael Young at third base makes the play. That strikeout to end the top of the fourth. That was a good pitch by Matt Palmer and a big out.
Well, it was a great setup, too, by Mike Napoli. He wanted that fastball up. You see him get out of the crowd's position and set the target above the belt. And he gets the exact result. Fastball up. Murphy can't hold up against it. He gets the strikeout, Matt Palmer did. But credit Matt Palmer, but also Mike Napoli for setting him up. Had a slow curveball and then elevate the fastball and set a perfect target.
Kendry Morales up there. Kendry, a strikeout victim in the first inning.
That was a key point of the game for the Angels, too. Feldman had walked in a run and got Kendry on 3 pitches.
Right, and the bases were still loaded with 1 out when Kendry was batting. Two balls, 1 strike to Morales. Feldman about to make his 70th pitch. And Kendry gets a base hit up the middle. One out, 1 on, and Ibar coming up. Tomorrow afternoon, all kids will receive a free back-to-school binder, courtesy of Smart and Final and Tide. Select binders will have authentic autographs from Angel players featured on the front and back covers. You can still get tickets for this game for just $5 in select view level seats or $10 in the right field pavilion. However, there is a password that you must have to get those prices. Doobie, the password, please.
Password is red.
Thank you. And that is correct. Angel Stadium ticket window or angelsbaseball.com.
Can't wait for that binder.
What are you going to put in yours?
Maybe my notes from the games. Good idea. Just to make sure I'm refreshed. How about you?
Probably secret papers.
I know Terry Smith, on the radio side, loves his binder.
Yes, well, he gets a lot of mileage out of the giveaways we have here. But he does use an Angel binder. He certainly does. And there he is. He may show it to us, I have a feeling. There's Billy Mack asking him if he can
pass him his binder. He has a binder, Terry Smith. He's definitely a big believer in it.
It's 1-2 to Eric Ibar. 2-2 now.
A couple more base runners, and all of a sudden the Angels have a shot to get back in it.
Blooped into shallow right center field, and it's a base hit for Ibar. 2 men on with 1 out and a chance to get right back in. Still so early in the game, Goober.
So many opportunities now. They got to cash in here. Fastball that was supposed to be on the outside part again. Sinker on the outside part, successful. When a sinker ball pitcher gets a ball up, it flattens out, and that's what happened. That's what a flare in the outfield. All flares or broken bats are on elevated pitches. And that's what that was. He was able to fight that off, get a base hit. Now one swing of the bat. All of a sudden, you're all the way back in the game, making 6-4 with that power that Napoli has.
He flied out to center his first time up. Feldman's been in some jams tonight. The Angels left the bases loaded in the first inning. Trying to cash in here in the fourth. Popped foul by Napoli. Napoli is 7 for 13 in his career against Feldman. So this is a big chance for Mike to do even better than that and get the Angels closer.
Against Mike Napoli, the outfielders playing him more the other way. Murphy playing way off. This is how far away from the line Murphy is to be able to do that. And then you got all of a sudden you got all that gap between left and center. So in right field you have a big gap there. He does have a lot of power the opposite field, but if he can pull a ball, it's going to score a couple runs.
Morales and Ibar, the base runners for the Angels. One and one. One ball, two strikes. Big at bat for Mike Napoli. Feldman, Gooby, if he gets through 5 innings with this lead intact, he'll probably be staggering across that finish line.
Well, I think the big thing is when you look at the Rangers now, because of the influence of Nolan Ryan, they are stretching them out as far as pitch counts. So that 90 to 100 pitch count is not automatically out of the ball game anymore for Texas. Mike Maddox stressing that, Ron Washington allowing their starters to go deeper. That way you don't overexpose a bullpen by making them get too many innings out of him.
But he's almost up to 80 in 3 1/3. And he has a 2-2 count here to Mike Napoli. Feldman has walked 3 and given up 5 hits. And he strikes out Napoli. Well, he's gotten a couple of big strikeouts when he's really needed them tonight.
He's kind of, the old saying, sneaky fast. You know, he's got a good fastball, but it's certainly not overpowering at 91, 92, but he's locating those pitches perfectly in that spot. I mean, you see as a hitter an elevated fastball like that, but above the belt, it's very difficult to make contact with it.
2 out, 2 on for Gary Matthews. Gary singled his first time up. Matthews made the All-Star team when he was with the Rangers. In the following year, he was an Angel. Big spot here for Matthews. 2 out, 2 on. That one had him fooled, Gooby.
Off-speed pitch. Gary Matthews Jr. loves to hit the fastball, both from the left side and the right side of the plate. These Rangers know a lot about Gary Matthews Jr. too. So got him out in front of that breaking pitch. Gary have to make an adjustment here. Just try to fight one off, get a base hit, get one of these runs across.
1-2. Two balls, two strikes.
Purpose behind that pitch, change eye levels, go fastball up, then they're going to try to go with the breaking pitch again on Gary Matthews Jr. in the dirt area.
Morales at second, Ibar at first, 2-2 to Matthews. Full count to Gary.
Nice job of laying off that curveball in the dirt that time around.
This is the 5th time in the game that Scott Feldman has had a full count on a batter. And if Matthews gets on base, Figgins would be up again. A head start for Morales and Ibar on the bases here. 3-2 to Gary Matthews. And down he goes. Feldman strikes out Napoli and Matthews to get out of the inning after 4. Still 6-1 Rangers. To 1 Rangers, and Justin Spire becomes the 3rd Angel pitcher in the ballgame.
40 games so far for Justin, 4-2 record, ERA at 4.62.
This isn't the ideal scenario, though, is it, for the Angels? They're obviously going to have to use a lot of their bullpen tonight.
Especially then you have a day game tomorrow.
And Sunday.
Exactly, but the big thing is when you have to use so many guys out of your bullpen, and then you have a quick return to a game the next day, it sets you back. And that's forcing, well, you have some good arms coming up with Jerry Weaver and John Lackey after that, but still you're forcing those guys now. The thought process is, I got to go 7-8 innings to give my bullpen a chance to rest.
Tremendous crowd here tonight, enjoying a beautiful night at the ballpark. They'd like the Angels to maybe rally a little bit in this ball game, but we'll see what happens. We're only in the 5th inning. Taylor Teagarden leading off against Spire. And hits a fly ball to left field. Well hit. Rivera back. Rivera on the warning track at the wall. And that ball is gone. A home run for Ranger catcher Taylor Teagarden. Makes it 7-1 Texas.
Number 1.
For Teagarden, that is just his third home run of the season.
When the ball just kept carrying and got out to left field.
Andrus is out for the first out in the inning. After the third home run of the ball game hit by the Rangers.
The key to getting back in any ball game is you need some zeros out of your bullpen, and if they can just slow down the momentum of the Rangers team, they can get back in there, because they've had some opportunities. They've had some base runners, the Angels, but they just haven't capitalized. But you can't keep giving up runs if you're trying to get back in the game.
Vizquel's been unbelievable tonight. 3 for 3. 2 runs batted in, 1 run scored, and a couple of nice plays at second base. He's having quite a game. Of course, the Rangers have wasted some opportunities to just blow it wide open. They've left 7 men on base. Vizquel hits a drive right down the right field line, and Omar Vizquel has hit it out. He is 4 for 4 tonight. What a game for the 42-year-old second baseman, who makes it 8-1 Rangers.
That's his first home run of the season for Omar Vizquel. Fastball was supposed to be in the outside part of the plate, but ran in the inside part and was up. Not a well executed pitch by Justin Spire, but Omar Vizquel having a magnificent game. Great at second base, turned a couple double plays, and now 4 hits.
He's always been brilliant in the field. This is the 24th time he's had a 4-hit game in his career. We're only in the 5th inning. He's been up 4 times, and he's 4 for 4.
And he's showing his arms up. You know what the thing is? Omar Vizquel on his way to the Hall of Fame. No question in my mind. First home run since '07.
Michael Young hits a drive, and that's deep to center field. Gary Matthews at the wall, tries to climb the wall, but it's the 3rd home run in the inning for the Texas Rangers. Michael Young blasts one out. The Rangers lead 9-1. And the roof is just caving in on the Angels in this ball game.
Boy, that's the 5th home run of the game hit by Texas. Well, they're trying to make a statement here. They certainly have done that offensively.
3 in the inning. Teagarden, Vizquel, and Young. And I think Butch is just trying to get Justin Spire into a place where he can just get through this inning.
Again, the point is you need some zeros, or you need some innings out of your bullpen. Otherwise, you're going to go so deep in your bullpen with a day game tomorrow, you're going to force your starter to maybe go beyond what he would normally go as far as a pitch count.
Well, Spire's thrown 9 pitches, Gooby. 3 of them have been hit out of the ballpark. Marlon Byrd takes strike 1.
Ron Washington's club against the Angels. This lead now 7-2 on the season. Those ERA, the starters, something you never generally see from a Mike Scioscia coach ball club. An ERA like that out of the starters.
Back up the middle by Byrd. Good play by Ibar, and he gets him. Nice play by Eric Ibar.
But you can guarantee a Mike Scioscia club will never give in here, no matter what. Even though the scenario 9-1, they're going to play hard. That's a good play by Eric Ibar. Slow roller gets fast-running Marlon Byrd at first base. Up the middle, on the run, still such a strong arm. Gets it by half a step.
Andrew Jones. Jones has walked twice. Grounded out once tonight. Two and 0. There was so much anticipation for this series, Gooby. But right now, this place is just quiet.
I mean, the Angels is coming off a very successful road trip, although they did lose 2 out of 3 in Chicago, ended up 4-2. 2 very difficult places, the Metrodome and U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago. To see Texas put these type of numbers, Texas struggled up in Oakland, but they lose 3 out of 4.
Jones grounds one wide of third. Good play by Figge. The Rangers are out, but they hit 3 home runs in the top of the 5th inning. Teagarden, Vizquel, Michael Young. It's been all Rangers tonight, 9-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Top of the order for the Angels. Sean Figgins, Meiser Turris, Bobby Abreu facing Feldman, who you would have to say has a pretty good shot at getting his 11th win of the season. He jumps ahead of Figgins, 0-2. Meanwhile, the Angels, we've talked about how much they're using their pen tonight, and now they have Shane Lukes warming up, and they'll probably hope that Lukes, when he comes in, gives them a solid at least 2 or 3 innings.
Well, he's been a starter, so he's a guy that can give you innings and pitches for Mike Scioscia, so he's going to be required to be able to go deeper in this game for him. Don't want to go that far into that bullpen.
Figgins called out on strikes here, leading off the 5th. Kids, this Sunday, the Angels will be having a scavenger hunt throughout the stadium. It begins in the right field pavilion. When it's over, kids will win an Angels prize, and the Angels will be playing the Rangers in the final game of this series, followed by Kids Run the Bases. Tickets, $5 in select upper view areas, $10 in the right field pavilion, and there is a password that is required to get those tremendous prices. Gooby?
Red.
Red is right. And those guys might be running the bases by the time Sunday gets here.
So that scavenger hunt should be a lot of fun, too.
It ranks right up there with Kids Run the Bases, which is always fun to watch. You know, they had something in Chicago that I thought was interesting. And as much as I love Kids Run the Bases, in Chicago they had seniors stroll the bases after the game.
And you were thinking about challenging a couple of them to a foot race, weren't you?
Not about maybe going down yet. I think Soch thinks that his Turris may have been hit by that last pitch. So he's questioning Billy Hahn here. But it didn't last very long.
Like I said, Mike Scioscia, even with the score at 9-1, he still believes his club can come back. Well, that sure looked like it might have nicked
close.
Yeah, it was definitely a change. It went different. The baseball was coming in the inside part of the plate, and then it moved away from him.
Well, Hahn might have called that a foul ball.
Did he actually ask the catcher? And the catcher said it got hit? Or is he saying it was a foul tip strikeout?
Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying. Yes. When have you ever seen the home plate umpire ask the catcher what he thinks and then call the guy out? And that's what Soch would like to know. So Meiser's out on strikes.
Well, it definitely changed direction, that pitch.
Let's see if it hits the back.
Boy, it's tough to see. Maybe the handle, but not certainly not the barrel of the bat.
Yeah, it really is difficult to tell. But if the catcher says it was a foul ball and he caught it, I guess that's good enough, huh?
Well, you always say that thing that you've seen the first time ever in a game. That was the first time I've ever seen that in a game. There wasn't a lot of argument, though, about it.
No. Bobby Abreu up there, 1 ball and 1 strike. Now, Billy Hahn is talking to Taylor Teagarden. And after he talks to him, he says, okay, strike 3. You would have enjoyed that as a pitcher. What do you think, Gooby? Think he went around?
Oh, no question. I would ask for that every time. But yeah, he does throw that cut fastball, Feldman does. But
and there is strike 3 to Abreu. Feldman strikes out the side.
Coors Light Freeze Can brought to you by Frost Brew Coors Light.
Nobody ever said it would be easy behind the dish, did they?
Well, I'll tell you what, he's done an outstanding job tonight, Mike Napoli has. There's been a lot of curveballs and sliders in the dirt, especially with a lot of runners on base, had to block a ton of them. There's a Coors Light Pavilion out there behind the rock pile in center field. But boy, Napoli's just a picture-perfect job as far as what you're supposed to do if you're a young catcher watching him tonight, as far as getting in front, using that whole body to keep that baseball in front of him.
Shane Lukes into the ball game for the Angels, the 4th pitcher in the game already. Hank Blaylock, the batter for the Rangers. Meanwhile, they've gone to the 14th inning at Yankee Stadium. No score. Red Sox and Yankees. Wow. And it is after midnight in New York. But that's a big game. If the Yankees win it, they'd be 4.5 games ahead of the Red Sox. Josh Hamilton up there for Texas.
It was Beckett versus Burnett today, too. Former teammates with the Marlins.
Slow bouncer Figgins makes a nice play and retires Hamilton. 1 out.
Pretty sure they're not still in the game, though.
It's doubtful. Great crowd here tonight. They just haven't had a whole lot to cheer about if they're wearing red, which so many people are here tonight.
Break out the Red Week here. Boy, I'll tell you what, they're trying to find something to cheer for, but it's been difficult tonight.
Hank Blaylock takes ball 1. Blaylock has a home run tonight. He hits that one right to Ibar.
So about setting up your defense perfectly. That's exactly what the Angels were able to do so to get Blaylock on that ground ball. Generally, when you see a batter hit a ball like that, it's going to be up the middle for a base hit, but Ibar was in great position. Ron Renick and this whole staff gets together and looks through the computer reports to determine where the defense is going to be set up, and Ibar was in a perfect spot.
There's Renick talking with Mike Butcher. You see the bench coaches, and Renick is the bench coach, on the computer a lot, and especially before the start of a series, like for instance tonight before the game. Murphy taps one back, and Shane Lutz has a 1-2-3 inning. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. That was the crack of the bat you heard quite a bit during that rewind. Texas Rangers have 5 home runs in this game. Vladdy Guerrero up there. Feldman is working on a streak of 5 consecutive strikeouts.
Ranger record. That's a shocker. Nolan Ryan at 7 straight.
Guerrero hits a fly ball into right field, and Josh Hamilton will catch it, so Feldman will not set a strikeout record. Well, you have a chance to meet the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. Coming out to the Big A Monday and meet the Quakes before the Angels game against Tampa Bay. Quakes players will be available for autographs underneath the big hats from 6 to 6:30 at the home plate gate. Tickets are still available in select view level areas for $5, in the right field pavilion for $10. Now, as you may suspect, Mark, there's a password needed to get those tickets. You know what it is?
Well, I've been working hard to be able to figure it out earlier. I'm going to still stay with red.
Yeah, if you have a winner, stay with it. It wouldn't hurt just to say red when you go to the ticket window or angelsbaseball.com anytime this week. The batter here is Juan Rivera.
I'm going to stick with the password red the whole time. That's going to be fun, though. The Quakes come in. It's great to see. There's going to be future Angel major leaguers before long. A number of them already here went through Rancho Cucamonga up the big league level for the Angels.
It's fun for those guys, too.
Good to see batting practice and stuff.
1-2 to Juan Rivera. You mentioned Nolan Ryan. When Nolan was an Angel, and it was exactly 26 years ago today, Nolan struck out 8 consecutive batters, and that is the Angel mark. He did it in a 6-5 win in Milwaukee.
He has the Angel record and the Ranger record.
Isn't that something? And he's on the Angels Hall of Fame, Wall of Fame.
And also with Texas.
And he's the president of the Texas Rangers. Pretty prolific.
Talk about a dominant pitcher. Nolan Ryan, 7 no-hitters. What do we say? What do you have, 12 one-hitters?
Yeah, oh, it's just incredible. His numbers are amazing. You talked about what an intimidating hitter Don Baylor was, but what about Nolan as a pitcher?
Especially early on, because there was times when Nolan, as hard as he was throwing, really didn't have a consistent idea of the strike zone too, so you were never comfortable.
No.
And he also, if he felt, because he wasn't really good as far as slowing down the running game, if you stole enough bases against him, he was going to make sure you weren't going to try anymore. He was going to make sure he was going to slow down the running game by hitting you.
You'd be tempted to just keep both feet on the base, not to make him think you were trying to steal.
No question.
0-2 to Kendry Morales. Scott Feldman is about to make pitch number 110, but he seems to be getting better as he goes along. As he strikes out Morales to end the 6th inning. 9-1 Rangers. The Angels in the 7th inning, and in right field, Reggie Willits will get a chance to play a few innings here. Howie Kendrick in the game at second base. Izzy moves over to third from second. And we go to the top of the 7th inning at the Big A tonight. Taylor Teagarden, he's had a good day at the plate with a double, a walk, and a home run. Teagarden came in hitting 194. It's all the way up to 210. Oh and 2. The Angels have won 64 games this year. If Texas wins this one, they'll have 61. And that ranks right up there in the American League. Boston has 62. So Texas, as we get close to the middle of August, they are, Gooby, a legitimate threat. I think there are some teams or some people who kept waiting for them to fade away. They're not fading away.
No, they're not, because they're pitching well. Even though Scott Feldman hasn't, especially early in the game, wasn't throwing the ball particularly well for Ron Washington. He's settled in, and their starters have done a nice job. And their offense is clicking a little bit.
Up the middle, Teagarden. Ibar, good play. Time for What Do You Know? Brought to you by Radio Shack. Well, there's something we know. This was originally named Anaheim Stadium. The Angels played their first home game against the White Sox on the 19th of April, 1966, and lost it 3-1.
I did not know that.
Well, I didn't think you did. Here's Elvis now for the Rangers. 1 ball, 1 strike. Shane Lukes. 4 batters faced, 4 ground ball outs. The Angels just finished playing the White Sox. The White Sox welcomed the Cleveland Indians in today, and the Indians pounded them 6-2.
Boy, Cleveland's been on fire since they made all those trades.
It's amazing, isn't it?
They play well against Minnesota, play well against Detroit. Detroit ended up beating Minnesota themselves today. Tigers, very good pitching. They haven't had a lot of offense, but they did today against the Minnesota Twins, winning that game, scoring 10 runs.
10-8 Tigers. And with that win, they are 3 games up in the Central. Shane Lukes, 5 up, 5 down. 2 outs in the 7th.
Lukes with a good sinking, moving fastball.
Here is Omar Vizquel. What a game Vizquel is having. He's 4 for 4. He has a home run, his first of the year. He's driven in 3 runs. He has scored 2 runs. And in his career, he's only had 5 hits in a game 4 times. To the right side, Morales will take it himself, and they get Vizquel out. So we get to the 7th inning stretch at the Big A, 9-1 Rangers. Rangers. He's thrown 110 pitches, 66 strikes.
And we said that the Texas Rangers now like to expand that as far as a pitch count. Started out real slow, walking 3 in that first inning. But after that, has not walked a batter.
Eric Ibar, 1 for 2 for the Angels tonight. And there's a liner into right field. Hamilton will play it on a hop. Fans, it's Break Out the Red Week, presented by Big O Tires, and it continues through August 12th. Still available for select games. Fans can purchase view-level seats for $5. I know you've heard this before, Gooby, but remember, there's a password involved here. You can get outfield pavilion seats in right field for $10 if you use the proper password during Break Out the Red Week.
That's got to be red.
Right again.
Unbelievable.
It is really. It's just an incredible streak you're on.
See, they broke out the red.
That's because they've heard you give the password so many times that they couldn't go wrong. Yep. You can really celebrate your knowledge of Angels baseball as you've been right once again.
Look at that.
More red. And, yep, that guy's thinking, well, Ruby said the password was red. She heard it also. So the little girl.
I've been studying, writing down notes.
0-2 here to Napoli.
Feldman loves to try to elevate the fastball when he's ahead of the count. Talking about people like Roy Halladay pitching east and west, going inside, outside with the fastball. Feldman goes high fastball, then go right back with the curveball in the dirt.
Pop foul by Mike. One ball, 2 strikes to Mike Napoli. They finally get Jennings up. Jason Jennings, a right-hander. As Napoli whacks a base hit into left field on a breaking ball. So the Angels have their best chance to really get back in the game with 2 men on and nobody out in the 7th inning.
Well, Washington's getting close to making that decision. Come out, possibly get Scott Feldman or Howard's replay. Hanging breaking pitch out over the plate. Mike Napoli able to hit that ball hard in the left field for a single.
Gary Matthews at the plate. Well, I appreciate the stretching out of the pitchers, but now it's up to 117 pitches. And Maddox calling timeout.
Purpose behind that is to make sure you get some more thrown in for Jennings if he can get ready quicker in case Gary Matthews Jr. gets a base hit. That'll be it for Feldman.
Meanwhile, at Yankee Stadium, the 15th inning rolls around, and still neither the Red Sox nor the Yankees can get a run. That's quite a game.
And it's 12:30 East Coast time.
Scott Feldman through 6 innings, just 1 run, 3 walks, 7 punch-outs.
Well, the impressive thing is those 3 walks was all in the first inning, but since that point has not walked any batter. Including 1 strikeout in the first. After that, it's 6 strikeouts too, so he's had success elevating that fastball and then throwing the curveball.
After this series, Tampa Bay will be here. They're in Seattle tonight, tied 5-5 in the 7th. Tampa Bay's right in that AL East race and the wild card race, of course. One and one to Gary Matthews. 2 on, nobody out in the bottom of the 7th. Breaking ball low. 120 pitches thrown by Feldman. We don't see that very often anymore.
I like it. I think it's the way to go about it. Start to stretch him out.
And there's a base hit for Matthews into left field. That'll load the bases with nobody out. 3 straight singles. Ibar, Napoli, and Matthews, and the top of the order coming up.
Ron Washington right on the top step. Scott Feldman gets close to that mound. Here he comes now.
So Feldman gives them 6+. He's going to leave with a 9-1 lead, but he's also going to leave with the Angels having their best opportunity all night to get some numbers on the board. 9-1 Rangers in the bottom of the 7th. Jack in the Box. Right now, get the $2.99 big deal featuring a cheeseburger, a taco, small fries, and a small drink for just $2.99. It's 9-1 Rangers, but it's also the bottom of the 7th with nobody out and the bases loaded for the Angels. Jason Jennings comes in, 2-3 in 38 games for the Texas Rangers, the 31-year-old right-hander. The Angels have 3 straight singles: Ibar, Napoli, and Matthews. And Howie Kendrick batting for the first time tonight.
Jennings has good sink on the fastball himself. 89-91 slider and changeup. But Howie, an opportunity here. The Angels, 81 times this year they've scored 3 or more runs in an inning. So they have a shot right now.
One ball, one strike.
Gardner did a nice job. It's a tough one, a slider off the outside corner with that spin action.
Kendrick bounces one to shortstop. Andres to Vizquel, and too late at first. That gets a run in. Kendrick gets an RBI in the fielder's choice, and it's 9-2. Runners at first and third.
That wasn't hit real hard, but Andrews, good flip over to Omar Vizquel, who almost was able to turn that double play, but Howie's just too quick.
Is Turris the batter now? Oh, 1 to Meiser. He has a walk in the single tonight. And he pulls one down the right field line toward the foul pole, and fair! 3-run home run for Meiser is Turris. And the Angels are coming back. Rangers 9, Angels 5, and break out the red now. They're starting to stand up and cheer.
Boy, this offense of the Angels just continues to pile up those big innings. 82nd time now they've scored more than 3 runs in an inning. Even when you're down 9-1, you look up. The way they could swing the bat, good approaches at the plate. One swing later, all of a sudden it's 9-5. Howard's replay shows a fastball up. Jennings lives for the sinker. That ball was up in the strike zone, and Meiser hits it right down by the foul pole for a 3-run home run.
Rob Quinlan batting for the first time. Jennings jumps ahead of him, 0-2. So it's not out of reach now. The Angels down by 4. And Feldman charged with a couple of those runs as Quinlan gets a base hit.
Boy, now you got the Ranger killer up now, and Vlad Guerrero. Mike Maddox going to go out there to talk to Jason Jennings.
Q talking with Blaylock over there at first base.
Oh, what an at bat for Q.
No kidding.
Behind an account, to shorten up the swing, hit the ball in the right field for a base hit. Down 0-2.
Well, Vlad Guerrero, although he hasn't done much tonight, yesterday in Chicago got a hold of one.
Well, we show those numbers too. It's always good to see Vlad have that kind of a swing before the Rangers come into town. 397 batting average with 22 home runs. Coming into the game today, base hit earlier in the ball game also.
Vladdy had a bloop single his first time up. Oh, 1 to Guerrero. The Angels now with 10 hits in the game.
Tell you what, if Jennings comes back in with the fastball on the inside part of the plate, it's a good chance it's going to be a 9-7 score. He's going away now.
And Vlad fouls that straight back. Vlad shaking his head, Gooby.
He hit a pretty good pitch to drive the other way. Now 0-2. Jason Jennings has a good slider. You think he's going to try to do that? He should have did that against Rob Quinlan. Went fastball. There it is. But with the slider now.
And that strikes Guerrero out.
You see that first pitch against Vlad. He came in, was setting up at the inside part of the plate. You got him a foul off a fastball on the inside part. Pitch by pitcher, you see fastball inside. It was a sinker. Vlad pulled a foul, then a fastball on the outside part. Vlad just missed it, then a slider off the plate. Unable to foul that one off.
Now the first at bat of the night for Reggie Willits. Reggie hitting .217. Well, the Angels have made it interesting for the big crowd here at the Big A tonight. One and 1 to Willits. Is Turris a 3-run home run? Two and 1. balls and a strike. Kendry Morales is on deck.
Well, unless it's a strike right down the middle, Reggie's going to have to take this pitch to get on base.
He walked him. The 9th man to bat in the inning, Kendry Morales. But it's not going to be against Jennings. 43,624 here tonight. A sellout at the Big A. Hoping that maybe the Angels can stage a miracle comeback in a big game with the Rangers tonight. They're going to Felice. It's now 9-5 Texas. Pitcher for Texas made his major league debut Monday. He started the season last year in A-ball.
He can bring that fastball close to 100 miles an hour. Now let's take a look at our jack in the box outside the box. Meiser getting the sinker up in the zone. Says get out of here with that sinker. 3-run home run for Meiser, bringing the Angels back in this game now with a chance with Kendry Morales coming up. And that is our jack in the box outside the box.
Well, it certainly is rally monkey time.
Well, Kendry can hit a fastball. It's a great matchup right now.
Kendry Morales swings and misses strike one.
I would say that's a firm fastball at 100 miles an hour. Well, he's free and easy too, Felice, with that pitch.
The Angels are hoping that Kendry Morales maybe can do what A-Rod just did at Yankee Stadium. He hit a walk-off home run in the bottom of the 15th to win it for the Yanks over the Red Sox.
The big thing, though, with Kendry here, with the guy throwing that hard, all you got to do is make good contact. He's going to provide the power for you. That's not easy to do, though.
No, it's 0-2 with 2 out and 2 on. Ooh, Felice ready to walk to the dugout. Thought he had him.
Never a good idea if you're a guy that's got 3-4 innings in the big leagues to throw one on the corner and then walk off and think you had to show an umpire up.
Kendry maybe catching up a little bit, fouled that one off. 6'3", 180, and able to throw that hard.
Great arm speed.
He goes to the breaking ball, and he thought he had him again.
That's not fair, though. If you can throw a slider like that when you're throwing 100. Sometimes when you're a young pitcher like this, you get frustrated you're not getting a call. That's when you make a mistake. That was off the outside corner. Definitely wasn't a strike, although he thought it was.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Kendry Morales, who pops one up. Andrus, the shortstop, goes out and makes the catch. The Angels send 9 men to the plate. One of them hits a 3-run homer. His Turris has made it a closer ball game. In the 7th inning, trying to spread a little magic dust out toward the field, but didn't quite happen for Kendry Morales right there.
Well, that pitch was at 100 miles an hour.
Michael Young to lead off the 8th inning against Shane Lukes, who has pitched 2 perfect innings in relief. Two and 0 to Michael Young. Lukes has gotten 5 ground ball outs and 1 strikeout. And there's a shot by Young into left center field. That one's going to roll out to the Napoli bobblehead sign. It's a double leading off the 8th inning for Young.
This is an effortless swing, too, again, from Michael Young. Pencil him in as an all-star each and every year, 300 and 200 hits in a season. Pitch on the outside part of the plate, able to get his arms extended. Another double. These are now 33 doubles on the season for Michael Young. What a hitter.
Marlon Byrd up there now. Two balls, no strikes to Byrd. Shane Lukes, the 4th pitcher for the Angels tonight. Joe Saunders went just an inning and 2/3 tonight. Rangers got him for 5 runs. Two and one to Bird. Off the hands, 2-2. If Texas wins this game, they would be only 3.5 games behind the Angels and 1 game behind the Red Sox for the wild card. In the air, shallow right center field. Matthews can't get it. It drops in for a hit between Matthews and Willits, and Marlon Byrd drops one in for a single.
Marlon Byrd continues to put up some numbers against the Angels, going inside with that fastball. Jammed him enough, but hit the right spot. Harry Matthews trying to make a diving catch, unable to do so.
Now the Rangers first and third, nobody out, and Andrew Jones coming up. Jones has grounded out twice. He has walked twice. He hits that one high and foul into the seats in left field. That's a high fly ball for the fans to have to play, Gooby.
Well, that was a pitch, too, that Andrew Jones just missed. Was trying to get a pop-up, trying to get through this inning. Somehow they not give up run as the Angels got back in the game at 9-5, and a 3-run home run by Meister Astores. You can't afford to give up some runs and give them life again, this offense of the Rangers, because they could score in bunches themselves.
Napoli prevented a run right there.
Mike Napoli has done a tremendous job as far as blocking pitches in the dirt throughout this game. Kept it in front. No advancement of man at third or at first.
One ball and 1 strike to Andrew Jones. The Angels have the middle infielders playing halfway. They're not willing to allow another run to the Texas Rangers. And Jones on a check swing. Strike 2.
Gonna try that pitch again. You need a strikeout here in this spot. And most RBI guys sense and smell that RBI man at third base. Be able to score for you. They're going to expand their zone to try to put in play.
He got him looking. Big pitch by Shane Lukes. 1 out in the 8th, and let's see now as he'll face Josh Hamilton, but that was a good pitch.
Breaking pitch in the outside corner, froze him. Can't hit a better spot than that. Now you have to deal with Josh Hamilton.
Runners on the corners with 1 out, and Hamilton at the plate. He has a home run and a single tonight. 2 for 4.
would love a double play ball out of Josh Hamilton, but he runs very well.
He has grounded out twice tonight. With that double play in mind, he's keeping Bird close to first, and Kendrick saved him a little bit right there.
Wasn't easy to be able to do either. You had to go around the base runner also be able to save a run. Nice job by Kendrick.
Former Angel Gary Pettis coaching first base for the Rangers as Hamilton looks at ball 2. The Angels just got back in the game with a 4-run 7th, and Luke's trying everything he can do to keep him in the game right here. He's behind on Hamilton 2-0.
See by that pitch, he's not giving in. He's going to throw an off-speed pitch, a slider, and that's about 2-0 count. Those couple pitches off the outside part of the plate. Still, even though you don't necessarily have the open base at first, you have an open one at second, and a guy with this type of power. Now he's going to go fastball on the outside part of the plate.
But then Blaylock's on deck, and that's no bargain either, Gooby.
He's got a lot of power, but he does have a hole in his swing at times with the strikeout. So 3-1 count. You don't want to just throw the fastball right down the middle. You got to have a purpose behind this. Go in the outside part or throw a breaking pitch. He's going to go fastball on the outside corner.
3-2 to Hamilton.
Boy, that was a great spot.
Pretty good 3-1 pitch, wasn't it?
Boy, you can't throw it any better than that. Sink action right on the corner. Throw that same spot again. Maybe even throw it on the outside corner and run off the plate. Again, power hitters love RBI situations. They'll expand their strike zone more so than normal when they smell an RBI. So you got to try to use that aggression against them. Another fastball on the outside corner. Now he wants to go back with a slider. Now fastball in.
First and third, 1 out, full count to Josh Hamilton.
Let's go fastball on the inside part of the plate. 4-seam fastball.
And he walked him. So that loads the bases. The Rangers have already left the bases loaded twice tonight. The second inning and the third inning. Blaylock batting now with the bases full and 1 out. Blaylock hit a home run in the first inning. He's 1 for 4. There's no open base now, Gooby.
Well, he's hitting 5 double plays and he struck out 79 times coming into the game. Only 1 tonight, now 80 strikeouts. That's the only way you got out of this inning. Ground ball double play be nice.
But it's 2-0 to Hank Blaylock.
But you have to throw a strike in this spot. You cannot allow Texas to get too far ahead now. You've got a chance. You're back in the game. You can't let it get away now.
Texas, for all the great things they've done this year, they're still an under 500 club on the road. Bounce to second base. There's 1, and that's all. So Blaylock gets the run home. Josh Hamilton, a nice slide into second base to make sure there was no double play.
Well, it was slowly hit. You have an outside chance, but Josh Hamilton so quick, strong. Nice job of taking out Eric Ibar. feed over from Howie Kennard, but coming right at him. Wait for Ibar to make the throw. Good takeout, though, by Hamilton.
It's an RBI for Blaylock, who makes it 10-6 Rangers. Or 10-5, rather. And the batter now, David Murphy. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Birds at third, and Blaylock at first. That rolls behind Napoli, and it'll get Blaylock to second. Not far enough away for the runner on third to score. And Darren Oliver, a former Ranger, loosening up in the Angel bullpen with 2 outs here in the 8th inning. One and one to Murphy. One and two. David Murphy had a double back in the 3rd inning. The Rangers have 13 hits tonight. Kendry will take that one himself. So the Rangers add on, but only by 1, and it's 10-5 going to the bottom of the 8th. Here is the Mercedes-Benz E-Class attention assist of the game.
Nice play by Omar Vizquel, playing second base. Fields the ball, nice flip over to Andrews, and made a nice 4-6-3 double play.
Quite a shot.
That's a beautiful shot.
The sun will be up before this game's over. You know, but this one has nothing on that game they played at Yankee Stadium tonight. The 15-inning win by the Yankees, 2-0. The time of game there was 5 hours 33 minutes, and the Yanks won it on a walk-off by A-Rod in the 15th.
Both those teams have the slowest games in baseball, and then when you combine them together, you are going to get a 5-hour game.
5.5. It was only 2-0, but it was 15 innings. We talk about pitch counts. That game, they combined to throw almost 500 pitches in one game.
Well, they always say they're both very patient, but I prefer when you see those two teams, the Yankees and Red Sox, just call a couple strikes.
Yeah.
And I know they have the reputation of working the count, but that's why you have a 5.5-hour game. And I'm not bitter about that at all, Rory.
No, I can tell.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, when you hit a corner, it's a strike. I don't care if you're wearing a Red Sox or Yankee uniform. It's a strike.
I guess in your time on the mound, you got every borderline pitch against those two teams, huh?
Yeah, every single one. That's why I'm sitting next to you. Not that I don't enjoy myself sitting up here.
No,
next
it
to
is.
you.
It is enjoyable.
Yeah.
3 balls and 2 strikes here to Eric Ibar, leading off the bottom of the 8th inning.
Just a reminder, Joe Saunders had left that game there in the 2nd inning for the Angels because he had some tightness in his left shoulder. So that's not particularly good news for the Angels. Joe Saunders had to leave that game. Maybe that explains the command issues today as far as hitting his spots.
You know, getting back to that game at Yankee Stadium for a minute, at the All-Star break, the Red Sox had a 3-game lead in the East. Now they're 4.5 games behind the Yankees. So that's quite a turnaround in a short period of time.
And the Yankees, you know, they're hitting the ball well, but they're pitching much better too. The Red Sox have been inconsistent. They let John Smoltz go today after struggling last night and struggling so far in his career against the Red Sox, but he'll be done now. That's a name out there available for somebody. Maybe take a shot at John Smoltz.
How much do you think he has left?
You know, I saw a couple games he pitched. He had decent velocity. Now maybe it's, you know, obviously it's different on TV as compared to seeing it in person. But you're still seeing 91, 92. The split finger didn't look as good as it has been in the past, and the slider hasn't been as sharp.
That's a fair ball, and it's played by Blaylock to finally retire Ibar after 10 pitches. Fans, if you can't watch the Angels on Fox Sports West or KCOP, you can always catch the game on your computer with MLB.tv. The ultimate baseball experience, featuring 100 out-of-market games per week live on your computer. And catch those you missed on demand. Check angelsbaseball.com.
Well, that last pitch was at 101 miles an hour. Blaylock made a nice play because that ball hit the corner of the base too. He was able to react and make the play at first base. Pretty good at bat for Ibar too. Worked that count. Saw a lot of pitches. Turn on a 101 mile an hour fastball. That's not easy.
1-1 now to Napoli. You just mentioned Saunders came out, tightness in the arm. And I think we hear that now. We've heard it so often. Fans hear it. Well, it's nothing. But, you know, you've been there as a pitcher. It's probably not nothing. You don't feel good out there, right?
No. Tightness in your pitching arm, what it does to you, and you can sometimes now you can see why some of the pitchers not hitting their spot. When you've got tightness in your shoulder, you're not able to follow through and reach out as far as you can to deliver your pitch. You kind of recoil, shorten your arm up, and you don't hit your spots as well. Or you try to get out of the way of a fly ball right up in the middle.
Yes. I was looking at you. I turned around. The ball was about 3 feet away from me.
I had to move out of the way. I made the play there the last time in Chicago. I wasn't going to try to make that catch.
No.
Although I would have loved to do that for Norm back there. I usually would try to help you out, Norm, but I was getting out of the way.
Norm had a good shot at that one.
It did almost hit me the back of the head on the deflection.
Did it?
Thanks for helping me out, Rory.
Well, if I'd only known. Napoli strikes out. We're out number 2 in the 8th. And with 2 outs, that brings up Gary Matthews.
It's never a good idea to try to catch a foul ball after it's coming at 101 mile an hour out of the pitcher's hand and foul straight back.
That's a good point. Matthews takes the first pitch down low. Just to get back to Saunders for a second, if it is just a little tightness and nothing serious, how long does that take to get over that?
Well, that's a good question. Mike Scioscia's going to have a discussion with Mike Butcher after the game, and of course the whole medical staff, the club, how they, this time of the year you'll sense a pitcher go through a dead arm period. What I mean by that is you pile up the innings, you pile up the pitches, you just don't feel as fresh as far as making your pitch. But if you have some tightness in there, that's a whole different situation. Now, whether they, you get some rub downs and do different exercises to be able to build the strength in the back of that shoulder, which is the most important thing at this time of the year. But it's not something you want to hear or see at this time. And now, obviously, with Tony Regan's the general manager of the Angels right now, he's got to be thinking the lines of, all right, you still can pull off a deal. Carl Pavano went today from Cleveland to Minnesota, went through the waiver wire, so you can still complete a deal at this point. So he's going to have to think about that.
Matthews fouls one way back.
Said they were thinking the lines of maybe a reliever, a starter, but Tony tried, and we had him on in a game on that trip. We were in Minnesota. He thought he had an opportunity to get some quality pitchers, but it fell through. The asking price was too high. But depending on how Joe Saunders responds to treatment in the next day or two, might determine if Tony Regan's is going to be forced to pull off some kind of deal.
Could be a situation where you say, oh, he's going to miss a start, or he could be fine. We won't know until probably tomorrow. Matthews strikes out, and the Angels are gone in order in the bottom of the 8th, trailing it by 5. It is Big Bang Friday, so most of the fans are still here waiting for that fireworks show.
It should be a fireworks display here after on Friday night. Big Bang Friday are amazing. So nobody's going to be leaving.
Top of the 9th inning, Taylor Teagarden's had a big day. But he hits the first pitch right to the shortstop, Eric Ibar. Well, Teagarden is on base again, this time on a ground ball to the shortstop. They're going to give Ibar an error on that one.
But Eric's been playing flawless defense at shortstop.
Morales has gotten so good at saving his infielders, but he couldn't quite come up with that one.
Well, Shane Lukes has done a nice job for Mike Scioscia here today. He's in his 4th inning of work. He's giving up that 1 run there in the 8th inning.
This outing by Lukes has saved some of the other guys down there for a day game tomorrow.
So important for you all to find somebody at the bullpen to give you some innings and some quality innings, and that's what Shane Lukes has given Mike Scioscia and Mike Butcher tonight.
Line drive into center field for a base hit. Well, the Texas Rangers tonight have flexed their muscles, Gooby, hitting 5 home runs.
Well, that first one there by Josh Hamilton and Blaylock and Teagarden and Omar Vizquel, followed up by Michael Young. Vizquel's first home run since 2007. Michael Young now with 19 home runs on the season. They have a lot of power.
Well, they came into this game tied with the Yankees for home runs. Tonight the Yankees hit 1. The game winner by A-Rod. The Rangers have 5, so they now lead the league in home runs. Vizquel has 4 hits tonight. The Rangers have done this against the Angels already this year. This is the 3rd time.
It's a pretty surprising stat. You know, you see Texas with all that power, but
well, you
for
remember
the Angels to give that up, it's a shock.
You remember the game earlier this year where Andrew Jones hit 3 himself. And they're doing it tonight without Ian Kinsler, who's on the disabled list at the moment for the Rangers.
It sets up an interesting matchup tomorrow when you got Kevin Millwood going against Jared Weaver. It's a great matchup. He will be on Big Fox tomorrow, so a day game too.
There's another extra inning game going on. It's in Seattle. There's Kinsler not able to play tonight. The Mariners and Tampa Bay tied 5-5 in the 10th.
Kevin Millwood against Jared Weaver, 9-7. Kevin Millwood 3.39 against Jared Weaver, coming off that 11 strikeout performance. 7-1 at home in 12 starts with an ERA 2.79.
Weave's having a great year. Vizquel taps one to Ibar, who goes to second, and they get 1 there.
It'll be the 3rd time that Kevin Millwood's been locked up against Jared Weaver this year. So that should be a great matchup.
Runners at 1st and 3rd for the Rangers with 1 out. Michael Young coming up. Rangers and Angels on Fox tomorrow, and if you're not in Southern California, you might see the Yankees and Red Sox. You talk about 2 pretty good matchups right there.
Schedule makers got that one right.
Either way, it's first place against second place, either in the East or the West. Michael Young lines a single into right field, and that'll drive in another run. 11-5 Rangers. 3 hits for Mike Young tonight.
Well, that's 7 hits out of your top 2 hitters in your lineup. You're going to score a lot of runs when you have that type of success, especially when you have a middle of the lineup type of lineup that the Rangers throw at you.
Darren Oliver back up in the Angel pen. Marlon Byrd at the plate for the Rangers. He has a single, and he was also hit by a pitch earlier tonight. One and one to Marlon Byrd. Oh, he's hit by a pitch for the second time tonight. And that loads the bases for the Rangers.
Boy, fastball running inside. It's that back elbow.
Andrew Jones bats now at the bases full. And pops one up. Looks like Ibar will take charge and make the play on that one. 2 down. Josh Hamilton at the plate. Shane Luke's about to make his 60th pitch in relief for the Angels. We're in the 9th inning here, and in 5 of the 9 innings, the Rangers have had the bases loaded. Hamilton rifles one foul down the first base line. He broke his bat on that one. But that's a lot of pitches, a lot of stress on the Angel pitching staff, and a lot of base runners for the Rangers.
And in particular, when you face a team like the Rangers and give them that many opportunities to score runs, you're going to see 11.
They've scored 11, and they've left 9 men on base. Oh, and 2 to Josh Hamilton. One ball, 2 strikes to Hamilton. Surprising to see Hamilton hitting only .236, but he's still just a tremendous threat at the plate, isn't he?
He is. He's got power the other way. You make a mistake in the inside part of the plate, he can hit it out like he did there in the first inning.
He grounds that one slowly to second base. Howie Kendrick takes care of it. And the Rangers leave them loaded for the 3rd time tonight. But it hasn't meant much on the scoreboard. bring a former Angel in to pitch the ninth inning. Side armor Darren O'Day is in the ball game for Texas.
Darren has done a nice job for the Rangers. Not going to overpower you. Deception, sink, mid-80s, 83 to 87 fastball. Good slider also. Great ERA at 1.72. 41 games. He's looking for ground balls. He will try to get the strikeout with that slider, though. 35 strikeouts in 36 and 2/3 innings pitched for Darren O'Day.
Howie Kendrick leading off the bottom of the ninth for the Angels. Still tied 5-5 in the bottom of the 10th in Seattle, the Mariners and Rays. And it's also 5-5 at Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers and Braves are in the bottom of the ninth. The Dodgers were trying to close the Braves out, Gooby, and Garrett Anderson got a base hit to tie it up in the top of the ninth off of Jonathan Broxton.
It's been a pretty good series. Andre Ethier won the game with a 3-run walk-off home run for the Dodgers last night when Atlanta was up 4-2.
O'Day starts 3-0 on Kendrick. They're also in the bottom of the ninth in San Francisco. The Reds 10, the Giants 5. And a 4-pitch walk to Kendrick starts the bottom of the ninth here. That's not what Washington had in mind when he brought O'Day in.
Now in this spot, sometimes when you're a reliever coming into these spots, which you're used to being in a close game, you just lose that focus and you throw pitches like that. But still, Ron Washington's not going to be real happy with those 4 pitches out of the zone like that.
His Turris has a 3-run home run tonight and takes strike one. They let Kendrick take second base. The official scorer calls that indifference. No stolen base. Oh, and 2. One and two to Meiser Turris. A lot of hits in this ball game. 15 for Texas, 10 for the Angels. Well, make it 11. Meiser Turris, a base hit into right field, scores Howie Kendrick. Rangers 11, Angels 6.
Well, what a game for Meiser Turris. Now 3 hits. Got a 3-run home run, now 4 RBIs. A run scored.
And nobody out here in the bottom of the ninth inning.
Pitch out over the strike zone. Darren O'Day, it's more difficult time against left-handed batters, and that's what Meiser was able to do. Get a pitch out over the zone, got a base hit.
Q's 1 for 1 tonight. He came in as the game started to get out of hand. Rob hitting .253. No balls, 2 strikes to Rob Quinlan.
No matter what, it's amazing that leadoff walk of an inning always seems to come back and haunt a pitcher. Walk Howie, steals second base. And Meiser drives him in.
been a lot of runners left on base for both sides tonight. The Rangers, and you don't see this very often when you score 11, they've also stranded 12. And the Angels have left 7 men on base. Oh, 0-2 to Rob Quinlan. Fly ball right field, shallow. Hamilton is there. One out, and another at bat for Vlad Guerrero. Vladdy has just a single tonight. And coming back from the disabled list, trying to get your swing right, this doesn't seem like the ideal pitcher for him to face right now, does it?
That's because you throw a lot of those frisbee sidearm sliders to him. Just like that.
And Vlad punches it into right field for his second single of the night. First and second, one out. And here comes Maddox to talk to O'Day. So they're not just sitting back in the Ranger dugout thinking this ball game's over. In fact, they have Frank Francisco warming up.
And you never know. There's crazier things that happen in Major League Baseball. In the ninth inning, this is when you think you have a game in hand. You give the other team life. Leadoff walk. A couple hits later, Mike Scioscia says, "Hey, seen a few more base runners, and we bring the tying run up."
Reggie Willits is the batter for the Angels. (11-6) Texas in the bottom of the ninth. One and 0 to Willits. Two balls and no strikes. Kendry Morales on deck. Over 43,000 here tonight, waiting to see if the Angels have a little ninth inning magic. Willits chops one off the plate. Blaylock trying to tag him and gets him going by. That was his only play, Gooby.
Boy, Reggie hits it anywhere else, that's going to be an infield hit, but he hits it right to the first baseman, Hank Blaylock. Nice play on that one. Chopper right off the plate. Situation where you got to reach back and make that tag. It just barely applied the tag as Reggie tried to get around him and head first slide and touch the base. Made a couple good plays at first base, Hank Blaylock has tonight for the Rangers.
Two outs in the bottom of the ninth, second and third for the Angels. Kendry Morales up there.
See if he got him. Wow. Looked like he tagged him anywhere. That would have been interesting to see if Reggie would have been safe at first.
One and one to Morales. A base hit by Kendry could make it fairly interesting too.
Kendry to get a base hit, it would be a save situation for Frank Francisco.
It sure would. Ibar's on deck. Francisco probably never thought he would have to warm up tonight, but there he is.
The thing is, you know, just because you don't necessarily in a game, but you're forced to warm up, throw extra pitches, then you have a day game tomorrow. It's a lot of pitches you end up throwing in a spot where you wouldn't even think you're going to get up to get in the game. So that could have a carryover effect tomorrow.
3-1 to Kendry Morales, who grounds one to second base. Vizquel makes the play, and that's the ball game. A long one tonight at the Big A with a lot of offense and a lot of runners left on base. The Rangers hit 5 home runs and take game 1 in this 3-game series, 11-6 over the Angels.
I think that was the story, that 5 home